God says, you have been given a lot of wealth. If you don't open this message, you won't receive the surprise. It's only for you. Open this immediately before 11:57 p.m., otherwise you'll miss what was always meant to be yours. Sometimes, we are drawn to something without fully knowing why. A quiet pull in the heart, a small voice that says, open this, or read this now. It doesn't shout, it doesn't force, it gently calls. If you are reading this, it is not an accident. There is something here meant just for you. Something prepared by hands greater than ours, something wrapped in mercy, kindness, and hope. Type Amen if you believe. This is not about gold or riches you can hold in your hands. This is about a different kind of wealth, one that fills your soul, not just your pockets. The kind that can't be taken away, the kind that never rusts, never fades, never gets lost. It is the wealth of love, peace, grace, and the presence of the one who never forgets you, even when the world turns its back. You may feel like you've been waiting a long time for something to change, hoping for a sign, praying for a breakthrough that never seems to arrive. You may have whispered in the dark, God, do you hear me? Let this message be a gentle answer. Yes, He hears you. Yes, He knows. Yes, there is something more, and it's coming. The doors that once felt closed will not remain shut forever. God sees what you do not. He sees what's ahead. He knows the moments your knees gave out beneath the weight of burdens too heavy to carry alone. He was there when the tears came quietly in the middle of the night, when you didn't want anyone else to see. There is a sacred strength in you that you often forget, because life has tried so hard to make you believe that you are not enough. But heaven knows your name. Heaven remembers your every step. There are blessings stored up with your name written on them, not because you earned them, but because He loves you that much. That deeply. That endlessly. When the world tells you to rush, God says, be still. When others say it's over, God says, not yet. When doubt creeps in, God whispers, trust me. He doesn't work on our clock. He doesn't follow our calendars. But He is never late, and what's coming will be more than what you hoped for. Type 1111 if you trust in God. Sometimes the blessing doesn't look like we imagined. Sometimes it's hidden behind a closed door, a delayed answer, or a painful chapter. But always, God is weaving something beautiful out of what felt broken. You were never forgotten in the silence. You were being prepared. It may have taken years. It may have cost you tears. But the blessing meant for you will not be given to someone else. It will not pass you by. What He promised, He will deliver. What He planned, He will finish. He's not asking you to figure everything out. He's asking you to trust, even when it doesn't make sense. You are not too late. You are not too far. You are not too broken. This message is your reminder that God is still in control. He is still writing your story, and He is not done with you. What you carry in your heart, the dreams, the prayers, the quiet hopes, He sees it all, and He holds it gently. So today, open your heart the way you opened this message. Let it remind you that love never left you, that grace still surrounds you, and that heaven is closer than you think. The surprise God has for you is not small. It is wrapped in divine timing and eternal love. There is a quiet truth that settles into the soul when everything else feels uncertain. It doesn't come with noise or force. It doesn't demand your attention. It simply waits, patient, steady, always near. That truth is this: God is not finished with you, and everything you thought you lost is being made new in ways you cannot yet see. Type 222 if you trust Jesus. You may have looked at your life and wondered why the road has been so long, why some prayers were answered while others felt ignored. Maybe you've questioned why the good days are followed by storms that seem to come out of nowhere. But what you don't see, what only God sees, is the richness that has been growing in you through it all. He is building something eternal, something strong, something that cannot be stolen by the winds of this world. The wealth God has spoken over your life is not only something that touches your hands, it touches your heart, your mind, your spirit. It is the peace that passes all understanding, the calm in the middle of the hardest days, the hope that refuses to leave, even when everything else fades. God knows how long you've been waiting. He knows how hard you've been trying to hold things together. Even in your silence, even in the moments where your faith felt weak, He stayed. He never stepped away. He never stopped believing in what He created in you. Some people will never understand how deeply you've trusted Him, even when you didn't have answers. They won't see the quiet battles you've fought in the dark or the prayers you've whispered when your voice was breaking. But God saw every one of them. He counted every tear and heard every word. That kind of trust moves the heart of heaven, and it never returns empty. There is a shift happening now, even if you can't feel it yet. Something is changing in your favor. The struggle you've been walking through is not the end of your story. It is simply a part of the journey that's shaping you for something greater. God is preparing a table in the presence of everything that tried to break you. A 7-second brainwave ritual uncovered from sealed records and hidden in CIA files is transforming financial lives. It activates a forgotten abundance channel in the brain, leading to new financial opportunities and cleared debts. Click the link in the comments below before it disappears. There will be a day when you look back and realize that nothing was wasted, not the pain, not the waiting, not the closed doors, not the lonely nights. Every season had a purpose. Every detour led you closer. Every delay held a blessing that was still being prepared for your heart. The surprise He has for you isn't a trick or a game. It's real, it's personal, and it's filled with a love that is not of this world. It will arrive not because you've been perfect, but because you've been faithful in the little things. You've kept walking. You've kept believing. You've kept loving, even when you were hurting. Type 555 to claim miracles. The enemy wanted you to believe that nothing good could come from your story. He wanted you to sit in the darkness and give up. But every time you chose to pray, every time you held on to hope when you had every reason to let go, you declared with your life that God is greater. And heaven took notice. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not behind. You are being positioned for something extraordinary, not because you have everything figured out, but because you placed your trust in the one who does. There is no mistake you've made that can cancel what God has ordained. There is no wound too deep for him to heal, no past too broken for him to restore. He is not done blessing you. He is not done surprising you. He is not done using your life to show the world what grace looks like. There will be laughter again. There will be peace where anxiety lived. There will be joy where sadness once sat. The nights that felt endless will be replaced with mornings full of light. You've been stretched, pressed, shaken, and still, you're here. Still, you're standing. Still, you're believing. That is the strength of someone who knows their God. That is the beauty of a heart held by the Creator of all things. The kind of wealth God gives changes how you see the world. It makes you softer, not weaker. It makes you kinder, not naive. It gives you eyes to see beyond what's in front of you, and a heart that chooses love over fear. It teaches you that true abundance isn't about having more, it's about needing less, because God is enough. One day soon, you'll see the surprise unfold. It will come in a way you didn't expect, at a time you weren't watching, through a path you never imagined. But it will be yours. And when it does, you'll know it was always meant for you, that it couldn't have arrived any earlier or later, that it was held safely in God's hands until you were ready. Let this message be the gentle reminder your heart needed. Not everything is lost. Not everything is broken. And even what has been broken is being made beautiful, piece by piece, moment by moment. There is something sacred about moments like these, quiet pauses in the rush of life, when the heart leans in and something deeper stirs within. If you're here reading this now, it's not random. It's not just another passing moment. It is divine timing, a reminder placed directly in your path. You were supposed to see this. You were meant to feel this. There is a message here carefully wrapped for your soul. Type yes to affirm. You may not realize it yet, but the journey you've walked, every valley, every mountain, every moment you wanted to give up, has been preparing you for something far greater than you could ever imagine. God was never blind to your pain. He never turned away from your struggle. Even when the nights felt too long and your prayers seemed to echo back in silence, He was working behind the scenes, arranging every detail with perfect love. You see, the wealth God speaks of isn't always something you can touch with your hands. Sometimes, it's the healing He brings to a wounded heart. Sometimes, it's the peace He places in the middle of the storm. Sometimes, it's the way you wake up one day and feel lighter, freer, more whole. That is the kind of wealth that changes everything. You may not have felt worthy of such gifts, especially on the days when your faith felt small or your strength ran thin. But God never measured you by your weakness. He sees your heart. He knows your effort. He watches how you continue to hope, even when hope feels like a thread you can barely hold on to. And He calls that beautiful. He calls that strong. He calls that faithful. There is something being released over your life. A shift in the atmosphere. A realignment of things that once felt out of place. The delays that confused you were not denials. They were gentle pauses that allowed the foundation to grow deeper. God did not forget you. He hid you for a while, to protect you from things not meant to touch your spirit, and to prepare you for what was always meant to be yours. You haven't missed your moment. You haven't fallen behind. What is meant for you will not pass you by. The doors you thought had closed for good will open in ways you didn't expect. The love you thought you lost will be restored in a form more pure and enduring. The dreams you shelved long ago will breathe again because God never forgot them, even when you did. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. The kind of wealth coming to you isn't just for comfort, it's for purpose. It's not just about what you'll receive, but about what you'll carry forward. God blesses you not just to lift you up, but to make you a light for others. You are being entrusted with grace, so that you can remind the weary that miracles still happen, that healing is still possible, that God is still near. Using a simple 7-second brain-wave ritual, once classified and hidden in CIA files, can unlock wealth, freedom, and success already inside you. This discovery is helping thousands step into abundance, and God has led you here for a reason. Click the link in the description and comments below to awaken this money magnet frequency today. You've walked through fire and didn't burn. You've been through storms and still found your footing. You've faced heartbreak and didn't lose your softness. That's not weakness, that's divine strength. The kind that only comes from walking hand in hand with Jesus, even when the path wasn't clear. There will be a time, and it's not far off, when you will stand in the middle of a blessing so big that it will quiet every fear you ever held close. You'll look around and realize that God was never late, that He never abandoned you, that every step was part of the plan to bring you here. Your story has not been wasted. The chapters that felt too hard to bear were not the end, they were turning points. They were the places where your soul learned how to bend without breaking, how to kneel without losing hope, how to love without fear. Those are the moments that shaped you for the surprise that's coming. And when it arrives, it won't be because you pushed the hardest or worked the longest. It will be because you remained faithful. It will be because, in a world that tries to pull us away from God, you stayed close. You prayed. You believed. You held on when everything in you said to let go. That is what God honors. That is what heaven responds to. So breathe easy. Let your shoulders drop. You don't need to earn what's already yours. You don't need to fight for what God has already written in your name. The blessing, the wealth, the surprise, it's on its way. And not because of anything the world says, but because the King of Kings has declared it over you. You are not chasing something far away. You are stepping into what was always meant for you. With every act of kindness, every word of encouragement you gave even when you felt empty, every quiet moment of faith, you were sowing seeds. And now, the harvest is coming. It won't look like anyone else's blessing. It won't arrive on someone else's schedule. It will be unique to your life, your journey, your heart. And when it comes, it will feel like coming home to something your soul always knew was out there waiting. This is your time. Not because of luck. Not because you stumbled into it. But because God said so. Because His promises are yes and amen. Because His love never fails. Because His timing is perfect. And because He always finishes what He starts. Every soul has a moment when it feels like heaven leans in a little closer, like the noise of the world fades and something holy begins to speak. If your heart is still enough right now, you might sense it, a warmth, a calm, a gentle reminder that you are not forgotten, that this moment was crafted with you in mind. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. It's easy to feel like life has passed you by when you measure your worth through the lens of delays, disappointments, and the quiet ache of unanswered prayers. But God does not see you through what you've lost or how long you've waited. He sees you through love that never dims, mercy that never dries up, and grace that knows no limit. You may think you've already seen your best days, or that your chance has come and gone. But God's timing is not like ours. What seems late to you is still on time in heaven's hands. The days you thought were empty were actually full of preparation. The doors that didn't open were not rejections, they were reroutes, guiding you away from harm and towards something better. The wealth you've been given is not just in the blessings you can count or the prayers already answered. It's in the unseen things, the sacred moments no one else saw. The late nights when you whispered Jesus' name with tired lips. The mornings you rose with weary bones but still chose kindness. The choices you made to keep believing when you had every reason to quit. These are the treasures stored in heaven. These are the riches of a heart fully surrendered. You may feel like you've been running a long race with no finish line in sight, but heaven sees how far you've come. You've made it through things you once thought would break you. You've survived storms that could have drowned you, and now you're standing here, still with hope, still with faith, still reaching for the one who has never let go of your hand. The surprise God has prepared is not something random or far off. It is intentional, personal, and designed perfectly for the shape of your soul. What's coming isn't just a change in your situation, it's a lifting of the weight you've carried. It's peace where there's been restlessness, provision where there's been lack, and restoration where things once felt broken beyond repair. Type 1919 to receive miracles. Don't mistake God's silence for absence. The quiet seasons often hold the deepest work. Like seeds growing underground, the things He's building in you may not be visible yet, but they are real. Your story isn't paused, it's being written line by line with more care than you'll ever fully understand. You are being shaped into someone who reflects the heart of Christ. Not just with words, but with your very presence. You bring light into dark rooms. You carry peace into troubled hearts. You offer love that heals. And that is no small thing. That is the wealth of heaven spilling out through you. Sometimes God doesn't answer right away because He's not just trying to give you what you want, He's giving you more than that. He's forming you into someone who can carry the blessing without it breaking you. He's anchoring your soul in Him so that when the surprise comes, it won't shake you. It'll steady you. A powerful 7-second morning ritual, once hidden in CIA files, is resurfacing, and people are already seeing fast financial breakthroughs. It takes only seconds, yet activates a dormant wealth center in the brain most people never access. Click the link in the description and comments now. Access it before it disappears. You don't need to chase what's already yours. You don't need to prove yourself to receive what He's freely giving. You simply need to stay close, to walk in the direction of His voice, even when it's quiet, even when the road feels unfamiliar. There's a soft kind of strength in you now, a strength that only grows from walking through shadows and still choosing light. That strength is what has kept you from giving up. It's what brought you here today. And it's what will carry you into the next chapter that God is already unfolding. He knows how much you've carried. He knows how long you've waited. And He's not ignoring you. He's making all things ready. The shift is coming. The release is coming. The joy that has been held back by grief or loss is coming back, but this time it will stay. It won't be fleeting. It won't vanish with the next challenge. It will take root. It will remain. The surprise isn't a moment, it's a new season. One where you no longer feel like you're just surviving, but truly living. One where you stop apologizing for your faith and start walking in the boldness of being fully known and deeply loved by your Creator. There are blessings with your name written on them. There are miracles that haven't missed their way to you, they've just been waiting for the right time. There are answers on their way, wrapped in mercy, delivered with perfect love. You haven't been forgotten in the crowd. You haven't been skipped over. You are seen. You are chosen. And you are next in line for something so full of grace that it will make sense of everything that hurt. So breathe. Trust. Rest in this truth: God is faithful, and He is not done. Not with your story. Not with your heart. Not with your life. Keep making room in your heart. Keep believing, not because things look perfect, but because you know the one who holds it all is perfect. You're not waiting in vain. You're not hoping in the dark. You're standing in the light of a promise that cannot be broken. There are moments when the world grows loud and the heart grows weary, and all you want is to hear something that tells you you're going to be okay. This is that moment. This is that message. Not by chance, not by mistake. It found you because your spirit has been reaching for something more, something gentle, something holy that wraps around your soul like a warm light. Type 2323 if you agree. You've been carrying so much without letting anyone see the weight of it. You've smiled when you wanted to cry. You've encouraged others while feeling empty inside. And yet, here you are, still standing, still reaching for God, still trying. That alone is a miracle. That alone is proof of something powerful alive in you, something planted by heaven that cannot be destroyed. There is wealth that lives in quiet endurance, in the strength to keep going when no one claps for you, in the kind of faith that doesn't need to be loud to be real. That kind of wealth is rare, and it is exactly the kind God honors. You may feel unseen by the world, but you have never been unseen by God. He has watched you rise through sorrow. He has watched you break and still choose to forgive. He has seen every secret sacrifice, every time you gave when you had little, every time you loved without receiving love in return. These are not wasted moments. These are eternal. They are recorded in the heart of the Father, and they are about to return to you in ways that will leave you speechless. He is not just returning what was lost. He is multiplying what is due. What the enemy stole, what time delayed, what life tried to bury, God is reviving it all. Not just to restore your joy, but to show you that He never stopped working on your behalf. Even when you couldn't feel it. Even when you doubted it. He was there. He is still there. And He's moving. You're about to see a wave of favor that has your name written on it. Not a random blessing. Not a recycled answer. But something tailor-made for your journey, for your tears, for your prayers. And it's not just coming to comfort you, it's coming to confirm that God still writes stories filled with wonder. Type Amen if you believe. You haven't walked through fire for nothing. You haven't wandered through deserts just to survive. Every season has shaped you for this moment. For this shift. For this outpouring. And no one will be able to say it happened by your own hand, because the way it arrives will make it clear, this was God. This was grace. There's a softness in His timing. A gentleness in how He moves. He doesn't rush the process because He values your growth. He doesn't hurry the blessing because He knows the blessing is sweeter when your heart is ready. And now, beloved, your heart is ready. Your hands are open. Your soul is prepared to receive, not just to receive, but to overflow. You won't just be blessed. You'll be a blessing. You won't just be healed. You'll carry healing to others. You won't just be comforted. You'll become a voice of comfort to those still waiting for their turn. That is the beauty of God's surprise. It changes you in ways that touch everyone around you. There is a shift happening in the unseen. Chains that held you for years are breaking without warning. Fear that followed you is losing its grip. Doors that were once sealed are beginning to move. And what felt impossible yesterday will feel inevitable tomorrow, because when God moves, nothing can stop what He has spoken. There will be signs. There will be moments that make you pause and whisper, "That was for me." Don't ignore them. Don't brush them off. These are confirmations from heaven that your steps are being guided, that your prayers are not forgotten, that your heart is being heard, fully and deeply. A simple but powerful 7-second at-home ritual, it's hidden in CIA files for years, is now changing lives rapidly. Backed by neuroscience research, it can begin shifting your financial direction in just days. Click the link in the description and comments now and step into abundance today. The wealth God speaks over you is not limited to financial gain. It is a spiritual richness that brings deep rest to the weary and joy to the discouraged. It is the kind of blessing that transforms every part of your life, your home, your relationships, your peace, your sense of purpose. And as it comes, you won't need to compete or compare. What's yours will feel right. It will settle into your life like it always belonged. Because it did. Because it was always a part of God's plan for you. The delay wasn't a denial. It was a preparation. And now, heaven is opening what has been waiting. There are people who won't understand how or why things are suddenly shifting in your favor. Let them wonder. Let them talk. Let them watch. Because God's goodness needs no explanation. When He decides to pour out blessings, He does so in a way that only He can. Quietly. Perfectly. Completely. You are not forgotten in a crowd of prayers. You are not another face in the line. You are His child. And there is a surprise headed your way, full of peace, overflowing with grace, wrapped in a kind of love that never lets go. There is something incredibly tender about the way God speaks to the heart. He doesn't shout over the noise. He doesn't demand to be noticed. He gently calls, with a voice that knows your name and understands your pain. It's the kind of voice that reaches you even when your hope feels thin and your strength feels small. If this message found you now, it's because your spirit is being gently reminded, something beautiful is about to unfold. Type 777 if you feel his presence. The path has not been easy, and you've known it. You've walked roads that felt too long, stood in rooms where you felt invisible, and kept faith alive when everything around you seemed to be falling apart. Still, you chose to keep going. Still, you held on to the quiet belief that God wasn't done. That he would do something. That he would make a way. And now, he is. What's ahead of you carries more than answers. It carries healing. It carries a new beginning, not born from luck or chance, but from grace and divine timing. You've grown in ways you haven't yet noticed. You've stretched your heart to love in silence. You've poured yourself out for others when your own cup was nearly empty. You've walked faithfully, and now the Father is calling you into a place of rest, of receiving, of being wrapped in the very love you've given. The wealth you carry within, the compassion, the wisdom, the kindness formed through suffering, is now becoming your harvest. The spiritual blessings coming your way will not feel distant or foreign. They'll feel like home. Like peace finally touching the corners of your life that always felt unsettled. Like light filling in the spaces where darkness once lingered too long. God never rushes the healing of a heart. He takes his time because what he builds is meant to last. Every moment that felt like waiting was not wasted time, it was sacred preparation. He was not punishing you. He was protecting you. He was guarding the treasure he placed within you until it was time to release something greater. Type 1010 to open your heart. You may not even realize how close you are to your answered prayers. Sometimes, the final stretch feels the hardest, not because God is far, but because he's closest in those moments. The pressure you feel is not proof of his absence. It's a sign that you're about to step through the door he's been holding open for you all along. You've asked, when will it be my turn, and the answer is soon. But not because the world says so, because heaven has declared it. Because your heart has been shaped, your faith has been tested, and your trust has deepened. And that kind of heart is ready to carry the surprise God has prepared. There is no limit to how God can bless you. His gifts are not restricted by your past, your status, your mistakes, or your fears. What he gives freely. Not as a reward for perfection, but as a reflection of his nature. He is generous. He is kind. He is full of mercy. And you, beloved, are in the center of his care. The coming blessing is not just about provision, it's about overflow. You will be filled so fully with peace, with purpose, with joy, that it will spill out into the lives around you. People will be drawn to the light in your eyes. They'll wonder why you radiate such calm in a world full of chaos. And you'll know, it was never you. It was always him. This wealth, this surprise, is not for show. It's for healing. It's for restoration. It's to rebuild what you thought could never be whole again. It's to breathe new life into your spirit and remind you that God keeps every promise, even the ones you forgot you prayed for. The long nights, the deep aches, the quiet tears, they were not unseen. Every one of them was gathered in the hands of a loving Father who kept watch over you even when you felt alone. And now, He is turning your mourning into laughter, your silence into singing, your waiting into celebration. Your story is not defined by what went wrong. It is being rewritten with grace on every line. God is not just fixing what broke. He's creating something entirely new. Something better. Something you never even thought to ask for, because you didn't know it could be this good. This is what happens when heaven opens. This is what it feels like when you walk into what was already promised. No striving. No earning. Just receiving. Just resting in the truth that you are loved beyond measure and chosen beyond reason. Don't let fear talk you out of what's coming. Don't let the past whisper lies about your future. You are not who you used to be. You are stronger now. Softer in the right ways. Bolder where it matters. And most of all, you are ready, not because you feel ready, but because God says you are. What if wealth was never about luck, but a hidden brain signal buried in CIA files? This frequency is opening doors, attracting opportunities, and changing lives quickly. Thousands are already using it to attract wealth like never before. Click the link in the description and comments now and activate the money-attracting brain wave today. You're not reading this by accident. This message carries the very breath of encouragement your soul needed today. Let it soak into you. Let it wrap around your heart. Let it remind you that you are already seen, already known, already loved by the one who holds the stars and still knows how many hairs are on your head. So don't be afraid. Don't hold back. Step forward. Something holy is unfolding, and it's calling your name. You've come through too much to stop here. What's ahead isn't just a reward, it's a new chapter, written with mercy, filled with purpose, and covered in the fingerprints of God Himself. The wealth you carry is not just for this moment, it's forever. It's the kind of wealth that changes generations. The kind that brings light into darkness. The kind that reminds others that Jesus still saves, still heals, still surprises us with grace we didn't see coming. There's something sacred about quiet moments like this. A stillness in the soul that gently reminds you, even if you've forgotten for a while, that you are not alone in this world. That the things you've walked through have not been wasted, and the pain you've carried has not gone unnoticed. If you're reading this, it's because the voice of God wants to reach you here, right now, right where you are. Type 888 if you believe your time is coming. You have survived things that were meant to break you. You have endured trials that few even knew about. You kept going when others might have stopped, and that quiet resilience is worth more than words can ever say. God has seen it all. Not just your strong days, but also the fragile ones, the moments you barely held on, the nights when you cried in silence. All of it matters to Him. All of it is precious. And now, He is doing something about it. Something only He can do. The wealth God is speaking of isn't only about possessions or places. It's the kind of wealth that touches your heart and transforms your life from the inside out. The wealth of a healed mind, a peaceful heart, and a future that looks nothing like the pain of your past. It's the wealth of waking up with hope again, of feeling joy in your soul again, of remembering what it's like to trust without fear. You may not feel like the most faithful, and you may have doubted along the way, but even in your weakness, God was strong. Even in your fear, His love didn't fade. And it's that love that is getting ready to overflow into your life in ways that will leave you speechless. There is a purpose for every delay you've experienced. There is meaning in every tear you've cried. You have not been overlooked. You've been preserved, kept safe, guarded for the right moment. And now, that moment is approaching, not in chaos, but in calm. Not through struggle, but through a beautiful unfolding of everything God promised. You've prayed with hands that were shaking. You've worshipped while your heart was breaking. And those are the prayers that carry power, the kind that reach heaven in ways you don't even realize. Because God doesn't look at the strength of your words, He looks at the sincerity of your heart. And your heart has remained His. Type 444 to welcome your new season. You're not just going to receive a blessing, you're going to understand why you had to wait. Why certain doors didn't open when you wanted them to. Why some things had to fall apart. Why God was silent when you thought He should have spoken. Soon, you will look back and see that everything you went through was shaping you, refining you, preparing you to carry what He's about to place in your hands. You won't have to force it. You won't have to beg for it. This blessing is drawn to you, because it was always yours. And when it arrives, it will feel like everything that was broken is being mended with gentle hands, one thread at a time. There will be peace where there was pressure. There will be clarity where there was confusion. And you'll know that it was worth it, not because the struggle felt good, but because what came from it is so deeply rooted in grace. God is not in a rush, but He is always right on time. And this, right here, is your time. Not because you've figured everything out, but because you've trusted through the uncertainty. Because you've stayed close to Him, even when the road felt long and lonely. Because your faith, even when small, was genuine. That is what heaven honors. You are about to step into something new, not a repeat of old patterns, not a cycle of disappointment, but a divine turning point. A new chapter written by the same God who parted seas, moved mountains, and breathed stars into the sky. That same God is moving in your life right now. You don't need to understand how. You don't need to know when. Just know that He is faithful, and what He started, He will finish. You will not be left behind. You will not be forgotten. You will not be denied what He has promised you. The surprise He has planned isn't small. It's big enough to make you forget the years of waiting. It's powerful enough to heal what's been broken for so long. It's personal enough to touch the deepest part of you and bring life to places that felt numb. You didn't miss it. It's coming. And when it does, you will feel the presence of God in a way you never have before. So lift your eyes. Soften your heart. Open your spirit. The wait is almost over. And what's coming is not just for your comfort, it's for your calling. You are stepping into a season where God will not only bless you but use you. You are being equipped to carry hope into places that are still waiting for light. You are being sent, not just to receive, but to reflect everything that He is. A 7-second at-home ritual, scientifically proven by neuroscience labs and hidden for decades in CIA files, is now public, and people are seeing money flow into their lives. Scientists say it activates a brain pathway linked to abundance. Click the link in the comments below before this knowledge disappears again. And in this, you'll discover that the real wealth you've been given was never just about what you have, it's about who you've become. It's about the closeness to Jesus that was formed in the fire. It's about the gentleness you found while walking through pain. It's about the love you learned to receive when you thought you had nothing left to give. There is something incredibly sacred happening around you, even now, even if you can't see it yet. The atmosphere is shifting. Your prayers have stirred things in the spiritual realm, and while your eyes may still see the waiting, heaven sees the door already swinging open. You've been faithful with little. You've remained rooted in faith even while carrying heartbreak, and God is honoring that in a way only He can. Type 333 if you're ready to walk in what God has promised. You might not realize this, but your quiet endurance has been your strength. Not the loud declarations, not the big moments, but those small, hidden decisions where you chose love over anger, trust over fear, and faith over doubt. God saw every one of them. He saw when you got up again after being knocked down. He saw when you kept praying, even though the answers didn't come right away. And none of it went unseen. None of it was forgotten. You've been holding on for so long that part of you may have started to believe that this is all life has to offer. But that's not true. What God is about to bring into your life will remind you that He is still the God of restoration, still the God of miracles, still the God who can do in one moment what you could never do in a lifetime. The surprise He's prepared is more than just a blessing, it's a turning point. You've given pieces of yourself to help others heal, even when you needed healing yourself. You've been a safe place for people who didn't always return the love you gave. You've carried the weight of responsibility quietly, with grace, even when you felt like collapsing under the pressure. That kind of heart, the kind that loves through pain, that chooses compassion in the face of injustice, is exactly the kind of heart God pours His richest blessings into. You've probably asked, when will things finally shift for me? And though the world may not have answered, God has. The shift is already happening. Maybe not in the way you imagined. Maybe not on the timeline you hoped for. But His timing is perfect, and He hasn't overlooked a single part of your journey. He's counted every tear. He's heard every whispered prayer. And He's stored it all with care. Type 999 if you believe the best is still coming. What's coming will surprise you, not because you doubted it entirely, but because you've grown so used to surviving that thriving has started to feel unfamiliar. But God never created you just to survive. You were made to walk in peace. To live with joy. To rest in the kind of love that doesn't waver with circumstance. And that's the wealth He's talking about. That's the true inheritance of those who walk with Him, not just more things, but more of Him. And with Him comes everything else. Healing. Provision. Relationships that reflect His heart. Doors that no man can shut. strength that renews you daily, peace that doesn't depend on your situation. That is what He's preparing for you. There's nothing you have to do to earn it. You don't need to hustle harder or prove your worth. You're already His. And He delights in blessing you, not because you've been perfect, but because He loves you. Because you've stayed close. Because you've kept showing up, even in pain, even in silence, even in fear. Sometimes God doesn't show you everything at once because He wants to build your faith, not your comfort. But now, He's peeling back the curtain. He's letting the light in. He's revealing what's been growing in the hidden places all along. And when you see it, when it finally comes into view, it will make you weep, not out of sorrow, but out of the overwhelming realization that God was with you every single step of the way. He's about to restore the years that felt lost. He's about to breathe life into dreams you buried long ago. You'll look around and realize that what once seemed impossible is now unfolding in front of you. And it won't feel forced or confusing. It will feel right. Peaceful. Natural. Because it came from God, not man. There is a kind of grace that's being poured out now, one that removes shame, lifts fear, and replaces confusion with clarity. You won't have to chase what's meant for you. You won't have to beg for doors to open. The doors will open because the one who holds the key has already turned it. So take heart. Let your soul breathe again. Let the walls you built for protection begin to come down. You are safe in His timing. You are secure in His hands. What He gives completely. No missing pieces. No strings attached. Just goodness, kindness, and mercy that follow you all the days of your life. You may not feel ready, but you are. You may not see how it's possible, but He does. You may not know where this path leads, but He's already ahead of you, making a way. And as you step forward, remember, this isn't the end. This is the beginning of something sacred, something soft and strong all at once. It's the moment you move from surviving to receiving. From wondering if it will happen to watching it unfold. There are seasons in life when everything feels still, almost too quiet, like nothing is moving, and your prayers are floating into the air unanswered. But just because you don't see anything happening doesn't mean God isn't working. His greatest miracles are often prepared in silence. His most beautiful surprises are formed in the waiting. And if you felt like you've been standing still for too long, maybe it's because something extraordinary is about to unfold. Type 111 if you believe your waiting has purpose. A classified 7-second morning ritual, once buried in CIA files, is quietly transforming financial lives. In under 30 seconds, it helps shift the mind from scarcity to wealth, with many reporting surprise income and peace. Click the link in the comments below before the page is removed. You've walked through some heavy moments with such grace that most people never even knew the weight you carried. You kept showing up with love, even when your heart was tired. You kept smiling, even when your soul was aching. And in those quiet, unseen acts of endurance, heaven has been recording every detail. None of it was invisible. None of it was overlooked. God doesn't waste anything. Not a single tear. Not a single trial. Not even the nights you felt forgotten. Everything you have gone through has prepared the soil for the blessing that's coming. And it's not just any blessing, it's the one specifically designed for your life, your journey, your story. It won't look like anyone else's gift. It won't follow anyone else's timeline. And that's the beauty of it. Because it's not a copy. It's not borrowed. It's yours. It's the answer that fits every corner of your heart, every piece of your soul, and every desire that was whispered in secret between you and God alone. You've held on so long, and maybe you didn't even realize how much strength it took. But God knows. He knows you've waited with dignity. He knows you've chosen grace instead of resentment. He knows how you stayed faithful, even when you felt forgotten. And now, He is moving in your favor, not as a reward for perfect behavior, but as a response to real, raw, honest faith. Type 2020 to claim miracles. What's coming is a reminder that God doesn't just restore what was lost, He multiplies it. He gives back more than what was taken. He replaces sorrow with joy, confusion with clarity, and brokenness with beauty that only He can create. The kind of beauty that brings healing not just to you, but to those who witness what He's done in your life. There will be moments very soon where you'll pause and realize that what you once prayed for is now surrounding you. You'll feel peace where there was once anxiety. You'll experience joy that rises up out of nowhere. And it won't be because everything suddenly became easy. It will be because God finally brought you into the season where everything begins to make sense. He is not slow to fulfill His promise. He is precise. He is perfect in all His ways, even when we don't understand the timing. What's taking shape behind the scenes is not just for your comfort. It's for your calling. It's the result of every seed you planted in tears now blooming in grace. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to beg for it. Just stay open. Stay ready. Stay close to Him. Let Him lead, even when you don't know the next step. He's not asking you to have it all figured out. He's only asking you to keep trusting, to keep moving forward even with trembling feet. Because what's ahead of you is greater than what's behind. The story is not over. In fact, the most beautiful chapters are just beginning. The ones where healing flows freely. Where peace finally settles in. Where you no longer carry the burden of what-ifs, because you're living in the fullness of what is. You've been prepared for this. Even if you don't feel ready. You've been molded by the pain, shaped by the waiting, and refined in the quiet. And now, God is getting ready to release something so precious, so personal, that it will redeem every dark night and every lonely prayer. The surprise isn't just an answer to your prayer, it's a display of God's love. It's His way of saying, I saw you. I heard you. I never left you. It's His reminder that He is still the God who shows up at just the right time, with more than you imagined and better than you expected. When it comes, it will feel like peace flooding a room that had grown cold. It will feel like sunlight breaking through after a long winter. It will feel like a hand holding yours, reminding you that you were never walking alone, even when the path was dark. So breathe deep. Rest your thoughts. Quiet your fear. You are closer than you think. The breakthrough is near. The shift is happening. And it's not just a small step forward, it's a leap into the promise, into the place you've been praying to reach, into the blessing that carries your name and no one else's. This is your time. Not because everything is perfect, but because God is. Not because you have all the answers, but because He has always been the answer. Not because you earned it, but because He delights in giving good gifts to His children. Stay faithful. Stay soft. Stay open. The page is turning. The light is rising. The wealth of heaven is being poured out, and you are not standing in the background, you are standing right in the middle of it. It's coming.